low residency Masters in Fine Arts in 2030. All the other classmates today have gone into Korea, but I'll be taking it in a little bit different direction. My overview, I'll be talking about my specific problems, SWOT, low residency MFA program, what it is, reasons to implement, the MFA competition, the local and mainland, and the outline of my proposed MFA program. My specific problem, UH Hilo enrollment has been decreasing by approximately 2.5% difference per year. Okay, UH Hilo, their strengths, physical and cultural environment, small university and diversity. They, just like everyone else says, that it's a tropical environment. It brings a unique aspect to the school, and it's a small university, has friendly faculty to student ratio, and according to UH system overview, UH Hilo is ranked in the top 10 in diversity. Some of the weaknesses would be the lack of capacity, state university, and poor reputation. And the majority of that is due to being a state university, low resources, and pretty much limited to what the state gives. Opportunities, that there's no low residency MFA in the state, and MFA low acceptance rate, I'll be talking about a little bit later. Threats is the budget cuts, being a state university, and alternative programs like workshops, online programs, and classes. Okay, I'm talking about low residency Masters in Fine Arts and what it is. It's a 2-year degree program, 2 to 4, and it consists of kind of implementing writer and editor interaction, in that majority of the semester students will be off campus at home writing on their own free time, and kind of just like how writers and editors, they write on their own time and they meet maybe once in a while to send in their rough drafts and see some revisions. I did an English students survey with Professor Rockbar, and we had a total of 59 students. These are 4 main questions of which program do students prefer, and 55 out of 59 students picked low residency as their option, and they chose to support and that they would enroll 55 out of 59, and they chose 44 students chose a 2-year program, and 12 students chose a 3-year program. And I also asked them about the number of campus days, because on-campus residency, because of all the 48 in the country, it varies between 10 to maybe 54. So majority of the students chose a 20 or 30 day, but majority of the 48 low residency MFAs have a 10 to 15 day residency. Okay, reasons to implement is that, like I said earlier, that it will be the first low residency MFA program in Hawaii. Graduate programs have been increasing in enrollment and low acceptance rates and job opportunities in the U.S. This graph shows here in the arts and humanities that students have a tendency more to go for a master's program than a doctoral program in the arts. And this here shows that if you look out in the top is public, and that graduate enrollment has increased by 2.4% on average from 2002 to 2012. These are the 4 universities that I've chosen to show as a comparison and competitors. First is the Antage University in Los Angeles. I chose this university because of the fact that they are one of the top 10 low residency MFAs in the country, according to poets and writers. And they have a 2-year program, 10-day residency, and 100 students program size. Next is Murray State University, just like Hawaii. They're a state university, and that's what I compared them to. And they're a 4-year program, 9-day residency. And Oregon State University is also a state university, just like Hawaii, but they are on the West Coast, which is the nearest competitor. And they are a 2-year program, 10-day residency. And University of Alaska in Anchorage. I chose this university because they like to emphasize their environment and to bring in enrollment because of the wilderness around them, just like Hawaii should with their tropical environment. And they are a 4-year program, 12-day residency. And my outline for a proposed MFA program. So our prospective target market is 25 to 60-year-old individuals, because majority of the residency MFA, they have estimate of around age range of 22-year-old to 65-year-olds. And majority of the students take part in an low residency MFA program is for fulfillment. It's not like normally all the students just come out of undergrad and they take part in the graduate program like this. Majority of the students do it for fulfillment and to put their work out there. And it will be a 2-year program and 20-30 on-campus residency with some residencies. And these on-campus residencies will probably be a couple of weeks before undergraduate, so they can dorm inside the actual university dorms. Because of, just before summer, the campus is underutilized. And for the first year, it will be admitting 5 to 10 students per semester, with a program size of 60. So 20-30 day residency, it will consist majority of planning and organizing with your mentor and instructor, and participating in writing workshops. The remaining of the semester, you'll be at home writing and submitting stories, papers, assignments. The program genre will consist of poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction. 40 out of the 48 residency MFAs have these 3 genres, and the 8 that just focus on 1 or 2. And feel that if we have the 3 that students can choose what they want to specialize in. And the curriculum is just a basic overview, because every university has a different curriculum depending on the course. But I'm thinking of a 12 course system, and that each credit will be a 4-credit class, and it will consist of 5 courses in creative writing, 5 courses in vocational seminars, 1 course in writing and reading conference, and 1 course for the thesis. Next, I'll be talking about prospective professors as writers for the low residency MFA program. Dr. Mark Panic is a professor in English and English department chair. He has 2 peer-reviewed and award-winning works. Next will be Louise Ann Yamanaka. She's a local writer who's an American poet and novelist, and she has award-winning poets and writing. She has at least 10 stories. And the next professor would be Susan Wackborg. I chose her because of the fact that she just recently graduated from a low residency MFA program from Goddard College, and she would bring in a kind of a student aspect to the creating of the MFA program, but she would know the ins and outs and what would help the student the most. And next, I'll be going over projected MFA budget, and that this is just a brief outline of what we have, but at the maximum, it will probably take around 12 professors, but 12 professors slash instructors slash specialists. On the left, it will show the average salary for the professor, specialist, and instructor. And library equipment and supplies may look a little small, but due to a low residency, you'll need the necessary facility, the building. They will just be coming. Majority of these costs will be going into the on-campus residency. And on the first year, it shows a loss due to startup costs and just building up on the first year. And I project 60 at the ending of 5 years. And the tuition is per credit. And I used it as Oregon State's university's per credit tuition because I feel that this university may be smaller, but due to our environment and what we offer and our unique aspect, we can match it or at least go above because Oregon State University has almost close to the average of what all the low residency tuition would be.
Thank you. So this looks really great. Why have we not done this yet?
Probably because of the lack of funding, just due to, with the English department, they're having a decrease in budget. So, every department fights for the necessary resources for their section or whatever. And I guess it's just the fact that they have a decrease in students, just lack of resources.
And you need to support that going into the red the first year, right? What was it, by $300,000, is it?
Oh, the first year?
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, 144,000. Yeah, so, but then by the next year you've made it back, and then it's all gravy on top of that, right?
Yeah. And it's the increase in student enrollment in the area of English.
So where did you get that projection of increase? Because that's a pretty radical.
Yeah.
Double,
it's a pretty
and then 50%. And then.
This is just calculated by the projected enrollment.
Yeah, but where do you get the idea that just assume 10's a good starting point. Where do you get the idea that that's going to double in the second year? Where does that data come from?
It comes from
your 55 students that you surveyed?
Oh no, it comes from the University of Georgia. They have a projected budget because they just proposed low residency MFA program, and it's going to be implemented in 2015. And this is more of a basic of what they kind of propose.
So they project a doubling of the
Yeah.
enrollments in the second year, and then 50% more.
And they projected a loss in the first year, and then the coming years it's all profit.
And where are they located?
University of Georgia.
Oh, University of
Yeah.
Georgia?
Matt, do you want to speak to you spoke of the exclusivity and a lot of pent-up demand or unfilled demand. What are some of the acceptance rates for these programs?
The lower acceptance rates. Each low residency program they accept 5 to 20 students, and each low residency MFA program gets at least 200 applicants. So the fact that they only take such a small portion of the fact of
Gotcha.
that demand.
I got you. So it's sort of similar to the pharmacy deal here, right? Okay. Interesting.
But the good part is they have no career expectations, unlike pharmacists.
And you don't promise anything either.
That's right.
They're doing it because they like to write.
Exactly. Other questions? All right, well, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.